Senator, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Going to be some interesting thing about 3 o'clock, interesting drama, I imagine, about 3 o'clock today. Some old friends will be reuniting. President Trump and Governor Cuomo, they've been going at it. Last time they had a fight, the president basically sent his Homeland Security Secretary over there saying, if you're going to give illegals licenses, you can forget about global entry for New York residents. And they're suing each other. What do you expect to happen right now?
Well, I think New York is in a tough spot because, listen, what they're doing is unprecedented, trying to deny the federal government and all law enforcement any access to their DMV. I can't tell you how routine this is for states to share information with the federal government about their state's driver's licenses as part of it's an important tool for law enforcement. So I imagine Governor Cuomo will try to offer some sort of compromise, but here's the bottom line. They have a sanctuary state law, New York does. They are not complying with federal law when it comes to illegal immigration. They're trying to stop ICE and immigration officials from actually enforcing the law in the state of New York, and that's what needs to change.
So it's basically if you have global entry, which many of us here in New York do, it's easy when you have to go through customs if you happen to go to another country and get through the checkpoints because we've already been vetted. They're saying no more of that. The president's saying you can't because we're letting illegals have driver's licenses in our state. No more global entry?
Yeah, even more than that. What New York has said is not only are they letting illegals have driver's license, but they're also saying we're not going to share any of our DMV information, any of our information on any of our citizens with the federal government. So the federal government's like, well, how can we verify then who is who? And so it really leaves DHS and others at the federal level in a tough spot. And of course, immigration officials have no way to enforce the law. So it's been it's an extreme position Governor Cuomo's adopted, and I think he'll probably start to walk it back.
Yeah, and we've heard that it sounds like a compromise is on the way where apparently they would grant the Fed's authority to look into the DMV record of certain people, probably those who apply for global entry, but it would be on a case-by-case basis. Meanwhile, Senator, let's talk a little bit about the coronavirus. People have been freaking out over this because of the nature of it. And when you look at the new number of deaths reported by China, 254 new deaths, 15,000 new cases, it brings into question whether or not we should trust the information that is coming to us from China. Do you trust them?
No, I don't trust them, and I think that we can't trust them. Listen, I was briefed not once but twice yesterday about the latest on the coronavirus from our health officials and Homeland Security officials. I have to say it's really, really concerning. I think the Chinese government has not been honest at all about this. They are completely overwhelmed at this point. They are not leveling with anybody, certainly not with us. And the Chinese Communist Party is creating a global health epidemic because of what they're doing, because they have lied, because they have not addressed this head on, and they weren't prepared. So what that means for us is we've got to take every step in this country to keep our citizens safe, to keep our travelers safe, and because China certainly is not going to do it.
Okay. Meanwhile, there's going to be a major overhaul proposed by you and others targeting Google and Facebook when it comes to privacy and other things. You're arguing that the agency is not capable of regulating itself, big tech issues, the FTC. So what do you plan on doing?
Well, I think we've got, first of all, way too many bureaucracies out there that are accountable to nobody. And the FTC is a great example. They don't report to anybody. They have gotten too cozy with big tech. You've got this big government, big tech alliance. It's time to break that up. Make the FTC report to the Justice Department. Make them enforce the laws that we have to make sure that we're not censored, to make sure that our privacy is protected and big tech is held accountable.
You have bipartisan support on this?
Yeah, I hope that I will. I've listened to a lot of my Democrat colleagues talk about the need for tougher enforcement. I say, let's get the bureaucracy actually doing what it's supposed to do. Let's make them accountable, and let's get this done.
For the people watching, it's the FTC that is in charge of the do not call list. And I had it up to here over the last couple of days. I keep getting these spam calls, and finally I reached out to somebody at the FTC and I said, this is easily fixable because people are spoofing numbers to make it look like my next door neighbor is calling from card services to negotiate a new rate. FTC wrote me back and said, you know what? You need to just hang up on it. Is that all they can do? The FTC is saying just hang up on somebody who should not be calling?
You know, unfortunately, that's their attitude towards enforcement on a lot of areas. The answer to your question, though, is no. They can do a lot more than that.
Of course.
In fact, I just sponsored a bill that would put new penalties for these fake telemarketers into law, and it got passed right before the break. But listen, the FTC needs to get tough. They're there for a reason. They need to enforce the law. They need to be accountable to somebody for doing it, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Right now, America will not pick up their phone.
If somebody running for president promises to stop robocalling, a lot of people would vote for him based on just that.
Amen. Amen to
True.
that.
All right.
Just don't answer it if you don't recognize it.
right,
They
Senator,
can
It
leave
looks
a
like my
message.
neighbor.
Good luck in your quest, Senator. Everyone can relate to what you're going after because everyone somehow is involved in social media one way, shape, or form. Senator, have a great day.
Thank you, Senator.
Thanks, you too.